everybody. Happy Monday. Happy first Monday of November. Spooky season is officially over, except not when we're recording this. Hence Jaiden's spooky lighting if we're on YouTube.
Ooh. Oh, wait. Could I make shadows? I'm like, I don't know what.
Well, maybe we'll see a shadow puppet show as the YouTube video keeps going. If you're on the podcast, maybe head over to YouTube. Check it out. How are you, Jaiden?
Well, based on my appearance today, for those who can't see me, I have a hoodie over my head, beats over top of the hoodie, ambient lighting or ambient lighting, whatever. I'm tired.
Yeah. We're early. It's early. Well, it's not really early, but it's early. We're grinding, you know?
It's early for me.
We also had a long day of work yesterday, which makes it, harder, but it's Halloween week. I don't want to go too much into that because I'm going to talk about it during the 3Gs, but Halloween week at dance, so we get to dress up. Super fun.
We're going mad hard this Halloween week.
Mad hard. Super excited about it. I feel like I was going to say something else. Oh, you guys got 2 episodes last week.
How did you like that? I want to know, did we like hearing us 2 times a week? Was it too much? Did we overwhelm you?
Yeah, and let us know too, how would you feel about us in season 3? Maybe not every episode or just like a small part of every episode doing like an advice segment. Like people write in and ask for advice. We keep it super anonymous.
That's such a good idea. I listen to Emma Chamberlain's podcast, Anything Goes, and she does that, and I love those ones because it's just a lot of the questions are stuff that I'm feeling too.
Yeah.
So listening to it, I'm loving the advice. It's just super fun to hear everybody's questions, as weird as that sounds, because then you don't feel so alone on some things.
Yeah, think about it. Let us know. You guys are the listeners. We do this for you. Let us know if you'd like an advice segment. Why not? Mixing it up a little bit.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we got 2 episodes last week. I'm switching back because I just did a hot flip there. We had 2 episodes last week with Edmund and Leash, and it was so fun recording that, you guys. It was a great time. We're going to be on their podcast soon, so stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Canada came out on top.
Unfortunately. Not unfortunately. Unfortunately for them, like great for us.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Canada came out on top. Like I said, hope you guys liked it. We had a great time recording it. It was a little different than what we usually give you. So we're going to get back to getting in our feels with our emotion series this week. And, just do what we've been doing since day one.
Live and love and learning.
Live and love and learn it. That's amazing. Also, what the heck that we're on episode 9?
Where has this season gone, honestly?
I don't know. And that means that, not including this episode, we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 6 left of this season.
Guys, I feel like I understand that we do this podcast, and I know like I'm up every Thursday, I'm writing my thoughts, like whatever. But sometimes I forget that it happens because it's just like a thing of my week.
Yeah.
And then now we're like more than halfway through, pretty much.
We're over half, yeah.
And what the hell? Like, where did it go?
No idea. I
she
do
flew
have to
out
say,
the window.
Yeah, I do have to say, speaking of podcasts, so Jaiden was doing a little something last week that, she was living her best life. We'll talk about it soon, I'm sure. But I was in charge of, usually Jaiden does all of our editing, and I was in charge of editing the episodes last week. And I just want to say, we all need to give Jaiden like 6 claps because it is a fun process. It's not hard. It's very easy. It's very fun. I was re-laughing at all of our jokes and everything. But it takes a long time. And like, good for her. Everyone give Jaiden 6 claps wherever you are. 6 claps. Give her a shout out. Go like one of her Instagram pictures. Do something. Show her some love.
Oh my gosh. Guys, like Faith said, it's not hard. You get to re-listen to the episode. You laugh, but it's just super, super long. So I appreciate that. But if I'm going to reverse it, everyone needs to go to our Instagram, follow us, follow our Facebook, TikTok, anything social media is Faith Hudvagner. She is the one that
shout out to Carson. He doesn't listen, but shout out to Carson.
She is the one that does all that stuff. So if you see anything like literally on our Instagram, it is Faith. She is the one who is on it.
While we're giving shout outs, I was, checking out our Instagram, getting our post ready, all that stuff. And I saw that someone tagged us in a comment, and I just want to give a shout out to A Little Perspective podcast. They had a post, or someone posted something. Who posted it? Podgo.ca posted, we're looking for podcast recommendations. Let us know what show you're watching. And they said, well, our show, of course, and some other great ones are, I think this is We're All Queens Pod and Let's Talk with Jaiden and Faith. They gave us a shout out.
Yes, thank you so much, A Little Perspective.
Yes, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And like I said before, I sometimes forget that people actually listen to us, And
then I look at myself right now on my little square and I'm like, they want to watch this right now?
Of your life. And also, on Instagram, but 3,000 downloads.
Yay!
Which is bananas. So thank you so much, everyone, for just continuing to support us and, join us on this crazy journey. Who knows where it could take us? Hopefully one day just where we can be in a studio, some high quality stuff, a producer, making money doing this. That would be the
honestly dream. We just want to be like chicks in the office. I started listening to them.
Shout out to Rhea and Fran. Oh my God, if I could be the Canadian version of Fran or Rhea, like if we could be the Canadian version of Chicks in the Office, Barstool, if you're listening and you want to make this happen, we can do it. Just reach out.
I really feel like we're not Barstool's aesthetic or like niche, whatever you want to say.
Oh, but we could make it that. We could change. Barstool is all over the map. We could absolutely fit in there.
And I was just going to say, Barstool, you need this sort of category within your brand.
I know. They're touching everything else. They might as well just get this too. So if anyone that's listening has any connection to Barstool Sports or Rhea or Fran, if you could help us out, that would be so great.
Leave a comment down below.
Send them our Instagram page, send them our podcast. We love them. Chicks in the Office. Check out that podcast too. We've talked about that in like the last 4 episodes and I don't even care. I love it so much.
No, and I mean, this is a great segue, but I was listening to them yesterday and they were doing their Bachelor recap, and it just made me excited to do ours because they were thinking a lot of the same things that we were thinking.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should just go into that if you're ready to go.
Oh, as long as my phone decides to work, I am ready. It's time, everyone, to wake up and smell the roses. Here we go. All right. So Jaiden and I actually got to watch this episode together this week. So
yay.
I just want to preface that I wish we would have just videotaped ourselves watching the episode. We had so many like visceral, out of our seats, uncomfortable, awkward, very like physical reactions to a lot of the things that happened.
Faith literally said it perfectly when we were together. She was like, we probably felt every single emotion that we've talked about on the podcast every single one in these 2 hours.
Guilt, surprise, sadness, anxiety, happiness, excitement. It was all over the board. Jaiden didn't leave my house for like an hour after we finished the episode because I think we both needed that time to like come back down. We needed
to collect ourselves because how it ended and our reaction to the ending and just the roller coaster of emotions.
We will get there.
It was wild.
We will get there. Yeah, so let's just dive in and start talking about it, shall we?
Lay it on us.
So we start back at the rose ceremony, and you know what? Let's just talk about Yusuf. Or Yosef or whatever his name is. Let's just dive in right now. So he's the worst. Basically.
He's just I had to burp. Oh, sorry guys.
Makes sense. It comes up now that we're talking about Yosef. He's just
honestly, yes.
Like he is just the worst. He called Claire classless. He didn't even have a tie on. His shirt was unbuttoned down to here. Like, you want to talk about class, Yosef? Come on.
Yeah, he was saying all of these things like you're classless, like you should be more mature. And then I'm like, the way that you're handling this, you're literally a hypocrite for what you're saying, because you have no class by the way you're handling this. And like, okay, I understand some of the reasons why he was upset, but totally could have been handled in a different way, Yosef.
Absolutely. And we really do think that like he knew that him and Claire, it just like wasn't going to work. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to start some shit and get myself sent home because nothing's going to happen. Like, we're not going to be together anyway, so why not? But I think he's a narcissist, and I think he's emotionally abusive. So when he started that, he doesn't know how to just like, he didn't know how to poke at it, make Claire send him home, and then stop. He literally just kept going and was like, oh my, it was so frustrating to watch. I wanted to punch him.
I literally, as it was happening, I told Faith, I'm like, he wants her to react. Like, because she's sitting there, she's being so attentive, and he's just like, and this and that and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, just shut up. She gets the point. You got your point across, but now you're like overkill.
Yeah. And like, speaking of Claire, I really don't think that she thought that conversation was going to go that way.
Not at all.
You could watch her like listening, and she's probably like, okay, Yosef has got some stuff he wants to talk about. Like, that's fine. And then all of a sudden it turned into like him attacking, that's not a word, attacking her character and everything. And it's just, I don't know how she stayed calm. And then when he told her to let me finish, I was like, no, sir, you're wrong. Shut up.
It was just, and I know, okay, I do think that Claire kind of cuts the guys off sometimes.
Yes. But I had also heard that at this point it had been like 20 minutes of Yosef like going at her.
Going in.
And after 5 minutes, I probably would have been like, okay.
That's
enough. Like,
but even whatever, I just, she does kind of cut the guys off sometimes. Yes. But in this scenario, it was related to what was happening. Like, she was trying to like level with him. Like, she was like, well, you know what? Like, yeah, my mom's sick right now. So I totally understand that you're missing someone and you're away from someone that you love. Like, that's what she was trying to get across. And he was like, oh, no. Let me talk.
The finger threw me over the edge. And he's emotionally abusive. He's a narcissist. He's a sociopath. He's a hypocrite. You could see the devil in his eyeballs. Like, as he was talking, you could see the, like, I just spit all over my phone. You could see the, like, you could just see that it was not going to end well.
No. And like, that's when you know that they're like, they can be emotionally abusive and they're a narcissist, when like, it's like this glaze in their eyes. They don't know how to like control the emotions that are coming up and what they're saying. And even like Claire gets up and she walks away, like they're done with the conversation. It's clearly not going to end well. And he's still like walking towards her, screaming, yelling, throwing a hissy fit. Like, she literally wasn't doing anything. So just shut up. Like, you're sorry.
And we got the iconic line of, I'm the oldest bachelorette that's standing here, that's 39, that's single, because I didn't settle for men like that. Coming in hot.
It was great.
I really just, in that moment, I really needed like the Tyler C, Jed, and Peter moment to happen from last season, where like when Luke P would leave Hannah Brown and they all just like walked up and they were like, it's time to go, bro. It's time to go. I was like, where are they? Bring them back. Claire needs them.
But then, funny enough.
But hold on, before we get into that, I want to preface and just say that if you listen to other Bachelor recaps, or even if you've looked at comments on Claire's Instagram, any Bachelor post, it's safe to say no one is Claire's biggest fan. It is safe to say that. We're probably going to give her some criticism. We're probably going to talk about how much we don't really enjoy her time. But we just want to point out and state now that we know there's a ton of editing. We know the producers are only showing a certain side of her. And we know she's probably not a bad person. We are not commenting on who she is as a human. We're commenting on the Claire that we're seeing as the Bachelorette.
Yes, because she is such a powerful woman.
Yep.
She knows what she wants. Like, she is a great role model for a lot of like younger girls and even for like women her age. But just what we're seeing, there's some things, nobody's perfect.
Yep.
I'm not perfect. Faith's not perfect. Like, if we had a camera shooting on us like for an entire 2 weeks, there would probably be some things where we were like, ooh,
yeah,
we didn't like how we did that, whatever. We're not criticizing her. We don't hate her. there's just some funny things that
we're
are
just
happening.
commenting on what the producers are giving us, and unfortunately, it looks like they're making Claire the villain of her own season, and we'll talk about that later. But Yosef gets in the car, Claire's crying. Cue first visceral reaction of the show. I don't know how we didn't see this coming, but we didn't. And who's the first person to go find Claire? Dale.
You guessed it.
Also,
Dale.
I saw a TikTok, someone did like a Dale count. Dale's name was said 128 times in 2 hours. And they took a drink every time his name was said. 128 times.
I literally have nothing to say because, like, she did it to her. He is just so infatuated with Dale.
But not even that Claire said it. Like, any of the guys that said it in the episode, too. Like, in total, Dale was said 128 times in 2 hours by everybody.
It's because it's becoming the Dale show. Like,
well, that's the edit. Yeah, they're really selling us on this point.
And, like, Claire is really just, like, forcing that narrative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's editing, too. Like, they're really driving home that this is the reason why poop is about to hit the fan next week, and I'm so excited.
I guess, but also at the same time, when listening to, like, again, Chicks in the Office, they kind of, like, described it in a way where, like, okay, you go into a show, you don't know how it's gonna, especially reality, you don't know how it's gonna pan out. So you just kind of go with whatever narrative the lead is pushing. Yeah. So she's pushing this Dale narrative, so they're just gonna sit into it.
They're like, this is perfect.
So, no offense, but, like, she's the one who's creating this narrative.
Yeah, Nick Vile does Bachelor recaps, too, and he had Robert Mills, who's one of the executive producers for ABC, as his guest this week, and I think I'm gonna watch that when we're done recording, and there's a headline that was like, the exact moment ABC execs knew that they were replacing Claire. So, we'll talk about that next week. I'm sure I'll give you guys the lowdown on what happened in that. But if you want more Bachelor content, check out Nick, check out Chicks in the Office. Anyway, Dale goes to her, and you know what? He got me. He's like, let it go. You have no control over that. Like, he was just saying all the right things. And then Claire literally said to him, I just want so much more time with you. To Dale. And she said she's falling in love. It's week 3. She set the record for earliest falling in love drop in Bachelorette history.
Yeah, it's just, I have nothing to say. Because he is saying all the right things. And, like, she clearly loves him. And it's just a lot in 3 weeks. But, I mean, when you know, I guess.
Yeah, which, again, we talk about later in the episode. I also have here in my show notes, I wrote Justice for Bennett. Just wanted to mention that. But we got Justice for Bennett this episode in that roast in the group date. I can't wait to talk about that. So, basically, Claire canceled the cocktail party. And then I basically said, if you are getting sent home tonight, you're not taking a flight back to your hometown. You're taking a flight to Yosef's house, and you're just going to egg his house.
Yeah,
100%.
Because after that whole fiasco, she was, like, too upset to even continue with the cocktail party. So she was like, we're going to go right into the rose ceremony, whatever. So that kind of screwed up everybody else's chances to get to know Claire, even though it doesn't really matter because she's obsessed with Dale.
Yeah.
But yeah, so literally,
they know that, but they also don't see what we're seeing, right? Like, imagine being a contestant, like, you're watching it back and you're like, okay, I thought I knew this, but, like, holy crap.
Once the contestants see something that happens later on, they're going to be pissed.
Yeah. Okay, so we have our rose ceremony. Roses go to Dale, Zach C, Damar, Brandon, Jordan C, Joe, Jay, Bennett, Easy, Ben, Ed, Ivan, boy band manager Kenny, and Zach J. And then Riley, Chasen, and Jason all had roses from the episode before, from their dates. And I just have a quote I would like to share from Jaiden before the rose ceremony started. It said, and I quote, I hate this part, as we're both sitting there with our sweaters over our nose in anticipation.
I literally, like, guys, we were honestly sitting like this
Yeah.
Just chilling. Like, I couldn't. I was like, I hate this part. He messed it
Yeah.
up. They're going to go home. This guy's sad because one of the guys, Ed, looked so sad. He was just like so destroyed.
He got a rose though.
He got a rose. He was just like destroyed though. And that's when I said, I hate this part. Because I was like, I can't watch these men be sad. It breaks my heart.
They're sad about it. And then so the rose ceremony happens, whatever. And then we get a clip of them like in the living room of wherever they're staying, and like 4 of them had a backwards hat on, and I looked at Jaiden and I said, yeah, like it's like that Kylie Jenner gif that was like, and next thing I knew I was pregnant. It was like backwards hat, and next thing I knew I was pregnant. Something about a backwards hat, and I'm not the only girl that thinks this. I have plenty of friends that also are siding with me on this one. Not just me. I know Jaiden knows too, but like my friends from school, it's very much a thing. So
no,
I was not well.
I was telling Faith, whenever Connor has like a hat on, I always take it and flip it around. I'm like, that's better.
I was not well a lot of times through the episode. Like a couple of the guys were really getting me with how they look.
Yeah, Faith is obsessed with
I love
Chasen.
I love looking at Chasen.
She loves him.
Yeah. I followed him on Instagram. His social media is kind of weird, but I kind of like that because if a boy's social media is good, then that means they can't be trusted.
That's actually so true, girls. That's
Straight
how you
facts.
figure out if he's an F-boy or not.
Yep. Anyway, back to The Bachelor. So your first group date is basically all of the front runners. It's Jason, Jay, Easy, Chasen, Blake, Ed, Riley, and Dale. But before we can get into the group date, Deanna, who was the Bachelorette from season 4, stopped by to give Claire some advice. And basically all Claire did was talk about how much she loves Dale. And like the irony of the editing here was all of the guys are sitting there talking about how much they're excited to get to know Claire and like how great she is. And then it cuts to Claire, who's just like, I love Dale. He gave me his pants for the gift for the love languages date, and I sleep with them and I smell them, and I just it was so ironic.
It was very ironic because the guys were like, yes, saying their love, but then they're also like, I feel like she picked us because we're all like the men that make her feel great, and like she really just wants to get to know us, and she's so mature and really just wants to like dive into each of our connections. And then she's just like, Dale.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then when she pulled out Dale's pants, and then was like smelling them, I was like, oh, okay. To each their own, but okay.
Love her, but I want to go like her, but she gives me like psychotic vibes, like psycho vibes.
She just, I think when she loves hard, and she knows it, and she's not gonna like hide it. I guess, you know what I mean?
Again, like, more power to you, but I don't know what it is where it's like she's giving me like obsessed vibes.
Yeah. And again, editing, who knows what else she's saying, but it's just, she really is. And like the way she was talking to Deanna, like she was saying like if you know, you know. And that's when I said this might be the shortest season ever, because she's already talking about him, and we'll talk about it later, but after the second group date, she called Dale her fiance to a producer.
Which was what? And again,
like
obsessed, crazy vibes. Like you're not engaged to him. That was the weirdest thing to me. I was like, it'd be different if you were like, I don't know, just weird. Like that's weird.
Obviously Dale's into her, like we get that, but like,
yeah,
what if she's saying all this stuff and she ends it and they're together and whatever, but like it doesn't work in the real world, and now you blew up this show and said all of this crazy stuff for no reason.
And that's what I was saying to Faith. Like, I wish she would give all the guys a chance, because I know she probably knows. That's fine. But maybe there's another, like maybe she's falling for that type of guy that she always falls for. And like maybe there's another guy there that is more suited for her, but in a different way, and she doesn't know it because she's not giving them the chance to like get to know them and get to have that connection with them. Like she really doesn't know. Like I know Jesus, out of wrong in my throat. But like I feel like she's like, yes, I know what I want. I know what I want. I know what I want. But sometimes like you could know, but you could not know at the same time. Like something can sweep you off your feet, and maybe that's Dale, but maybe it could have been like Zach. Maybe it could have been Blake. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot.
It's a lot. So she scrapped the day portion, and like these guys were literally sitting there, and they were literally like, okay, come on, Claire, like just sitting, waiting for their date. It's now dark outside. She comes in. She says that she scrapped the day portion and she's going to extend the cocktail party. But she said she scrapped the day portion because she wanted more time with everybody. But that's taking time away if you're scrapping the day portion of the date.
Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking.
So, like, whatever. So, knowing what was coming, I just had so much anxiety during, like, this cocktail party because I just feel so bad for these guys that aren't Dale. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read all of my comments.
This is fun.
Because if you watched it, we're about to talk about the scene in the episode where Dale gives this like bro speech and he makes them all do a group hug, and then he steals Claire first and he goes, I'm just going to take her for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And they are gone for a damn hour. They went back to her room. And like, so I said, I was like, okay, so we all know that this isn't going to be good because we've seen the previews, but now that we see he took her first and she took him to her room, dummies, both of them. Like, at least try and hide your connection a little bit.
A little. But also, I think that's why they don't have the Bachelor or Bachelorette staying at the mansion, because that's what would happen. They would all just like go in their own private room and whatever.
Yes. And then they're all making out on the bed, and Dale put his fingers in like Claire's shorts, like her pant leg a little bit, and Jaiden and I both just went,
yeah. We were like, oh no, close our eyes.
It was crazy. And then it just cuts to the rest of the men sitting on the couch, just like awkwardly like sipping their drinks, just like so awkwardly, just like looking around. There was like crickets in the back. Like I couldn't watch. It was so awkward. And then someone made a comment like gone, like that they've been gone for an hour. And I was like, what? An hour? Yeah, right.
After 20 minutes, I literally would have been like,
yes.
Knock, knock, knock.
So then
can I talk?
Easy knocked on the door.
Of Claire's bedroom.
Of Claire's room, where her and Dale were. But he could hear them. Like, he could hear them. At least the editing made it seem like he could hear them. Who knows if he actually could. But her blazer was off. And the outfit she was wearing was like a white blazer with matching like shorts. But then she had, not like lingerie, but kind of like a see-through boosty.
Kind of like lingerie.
It was a great outfit. I loved it.
Yeah, it looked great.
All of a sudden we were watching her put her blazer back on. And like, they opened the door. It felt like literally when Chicks in the Office said it was high school, that's exactly what it was. Like, Dale was hiding in a room, and then like,
I was just gonna say that.
Easy walked in and saw Dale, and then they both just like, Claire and Dale didn't know how to shut up, so like it was just making it so much worse. Like, I was literally just like, stop talking.
Guys, it was literally like he was trying to explain himself, and he was like, well, it was just like, and then it was like I was in the bath, and then you know, and it's
I'm getting anxiety.
And then he was like like he was beaming. When you're beaming after being with someone, you clearly know something was going down.
It was not good. Like, it was a terrible exit. Like, not good.
Like,
and then
it was bad.
Yeah, and then Easy left or whatever, and Claire told a producer, can we kind of hurry the rest along? Like, that's not how The Bachelorette is supposed to go. I literally wrote that. I went, again, the rule book.
And
that
also,
is not how it's supposed to go.
Maybe if you didn't take so long with Dale, you wouldn't have had to hurry everything up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep. And speaking of Dale, Claire was in a room with someone, and now I know the producers were obviously like, walk in, whatever.
Producer trap, like you were saying.
It was a producer trap. But Claire was in the room with Jay. And then Dale walked in. So this is now Jay's first time talking to Claire. This will be Dale's second time. Dale walks in and he's like, oh, fuck. Like, and he's like awkward and like whatever, and he was like, can I steal her for a sec, like whatever. And then so Jay, being the nice guy that he is, says yes and like goes back to the guys, and the guys are like, oh, who, like they're like looking around, they're like, who interrupted you? He goes, Dale. And then my boy Jason coming in hot.
This was also so awkward though, because guys, okay, so Dale and Claire were like talking. I'm gonna reenact it.
Okay, so Jason comes in hot. He goes, no, screw that. Like, I haven't talked to her yet. I'm gonna do whatever. So Jason comes in hot, knocks on the door, opens it. Dale and Claire clearly making out against the wall. What does Dale do? He puts his elbow on the wall. That is like the most nonchalant, not like opposite of nonchalant pose.
Guys, it was so awkward. Like, why? I was like, why doesn't he like run or like not run? That's dramatic, but like, I don't know, like grab her hand and walk her to the chair and pretend like they were looking out the window or like something. But all he did was this.
Just leans. Like it was so awkward.
I was like, you're so dumb.
It was
like,
so
you're
awkward.
so dumb.
So then Dale finally like went back to the guys, and Riley called Dale out and was like, why are you like lying? Like, you said you're going to take her for 5 minutes. Like, just be honest with us. Like, whatever. And like Riley calling Dale out gave me so much life. Like, I wouldn't want to mess with Riley, but I would want him as a friend because he would keep me on the path of straight and narrow. You know what I mean? Like,
and same with Easy. Easy was like, man, like, we don't care that it happened. Well, we care that it happened, but don't lie about it. Like, just own it. Like, you did it. Just own it.
Yeah. And then
and
I said,
he was just talking in circles.
And yeah, Dale can't explain himself out of anything. So like, and also if we're going to talk about that, she sent Brandon or Brendan or whatever his name is home last week because he couldn't explain himself. And here's Dale talking in circles, doing the same thing, and he's still here.
Because she just doesn't care. She wants him.
She comes and she sits down and she picks up the group date rose. And I paused it, I looked at Jaiden and I said, if she gives this to Dale, it's over. All she had to do was just give it to someone else that she had like a little bit of a conversation with to just make the being gone for an hour feel okay.
Because also, she already knows she's giving a rose to Dale.
Yes. Like, give someone a pity rose, honestly. And she did. She gave it to Dale. I was just like, obviously I know that's who you have a connection with, and like I get that, but also like, oh, my microphone, sorry. Also like, why? You could have given it to anyone else, honestly.
Because again, you already know he's getting one.
And like you could tell all of the guys started to get like frustrated because you could see it on their face, and like I was like, Blake from Canada's gonna cry. Blake from Canada's gonna get emotional soon. I can feel it. And like literally, and then we cut to an in the moment, and Jason, nice deep Jason from last week, who's always been lighthearted, is like off his rocker. Like he's lost it. Like Dale made him like explode almost. It was wild. And then Riley also mentioned that Claire's credibility is in question now. And I've got to say, I agree with him. Okay, Jaiden's back. We're good to go. Now, we're moving into the one-on-one. Zach J. Poor guy was so excited. He had no idea.
And guys, it was like cute, so excited. Like he was like shaking. Yeah. He was so excited. It was the cutest thing. And then Claire just was.
And then they went on this like spa date, pedicures, facials, all that stuff. But she just kept talking about Dale. Like in the moments when they were cutting to those, like she just kept talking about Dale, and she just kept saying she wanted to be present with Zach, but then she just kept talking about Dale. So
yeah, like in her little interviews that she was doing.
So justice for Zach J.
Yes, because then if
let's get into it.
Okay, so they were having like a pretty decent date. Like Claire was just like, oh, he's so high strung. Like I want to try to like relax him, whatever. So then they were like swimming in the pool that must have been at her place that she was staying at. And then she was like, let's just, let's get out of the pool. Let's go get ready for our dinner portion. And she went to go lean in for a kiss, and not even like 2 seconds of, like, she literally went lean and then pulled away and then was all mad because he didn't kiss her back. And I'm like, you didn't even give him time to register that that's what you were doing. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and then when he tried to, like, because they were holding hands, and when someone like pulls away, but you're still holding hands, so you can like pull them back.
yeah.
He tried to like do that and be like, no, why did you pull away? Like, I was gonna kiss you, and like kept trying to like do it, and she just like shut down and was like, no, let's go get ready for our date. Let's go get ready for our date. And like, he just kept trying to be like, no, Claire, like, trying to have a conversation about it, and she wouldn't have a conversation.
She was just like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Like, let's get ready for our date. It's fine. And
Like,
it's like,
she just shut down. So then it cut. He walked away in a robe and slippers, which
so
was
sad.
so funny. So funny that he had those slippers on. And she's like in her room with her dogs, and she's talking about her past trauma, and like she doesn't have to explain it and all that stuff. And I get it. She's gone to therapy. She's doing the work. She's doing whatever. But like, just because you've experienced that, I don't know. I just don't. And like, maybe I'm out of line here because I haven't experienced it. But I just think like she could have easily like let go of his hand, like taken a step back and say like, you know what? I'm just really not feeling comfortable right now. Let's just go get ready for the date. And then at the dinner date, they could have had a conversation about it when they've all had time to like relax,
decompress.
Yeah. But she couldn't do that because she sent Chris Harrison to break up with Zach J and send him home. She couldn't even show up herself. I know,
And
she took the easy way out, and I think that's so scummy.
And again, we're not minimizing like her past and what she's been through, because obviously like that was a trigger for her, and that's okay. That happens. People have triggers, but you need to be able to have that conversation. And even if you couldn't in the moment, like Faith said, just, you know what, I'm a little uncomfortable right now. Like, can we please talk about it later? Like, I'll see you at dinner, instead of just being like, nope, get ready. Nope, it's fine. Nope, 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 nope. Like, you're not saying anything. At least be like, we'll talk about it at dinner. I need a second. And It's fine. It's done. It's over with. Yeah, and then when you get to the dinner, you'll be able to formulate what you want to say. Or even if you don't want to just talk about it. Just be like, I'm not comfortable opening up yet.
Yeah.
But I was just a little bit upset, but I'll get through it. Like, I don't know. There's just so many different ways that she could have handled it. Yeah, that was just frustrating.
I was annoyed with her when she did that. And then I was mad when Chris Harrison showed up. Like, I just think, and I mean, I was watching Caitlin and Jason's like Instagram stories, and Caitlin was like, honestly, yeah, like if I had the choice for like Chris Harrison to go break up with like a guy and I could sleep as the Bachelorette, like I would take it. And Jason's like, okay, that's fair. He's like, Jason was like, but I also think it's like the cheap way out. Like, and I think, like, I don't know. I just think that was so awkward for him. It was a simple misunderstanding. And you just
guys
blew it out of proportion. Again, very similar to when none of the guys got up and talked to her or pulled her away from that first group date.
Exactly. It's giving me these things where it's like, I know she's had a past where it hasn't been the best, but you need to create a better future, and you need to break these patterns. And I know it's not easy. I know I'm sounding maybe a little bit insensitive, but trust me, I totally understand it, because there's things in my life that are triggers too.
Yeah.
But you need to learn how to deal with them, and you need to learn how to cope with them.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to tell people like, no, I'm not okay right now, but I like, we'll talk about it later. Like, that's okay. And you need to be okay with that. And I just felt so bad for Zach, because like, guys, if you see the video, it's literally on TikTok. There's a bunch of stuff about it. If you search it up, he literally didn't pull away in the slightest.
No, he didn't. He just didn't. It was like she gave 90%. All he had to do was give like 10%, and he only kind of did 5% because he didn't really understand. No one pulled away until Claire was like, oh.
And literally she went in so slow. So like, was she going for a hug? Was she going for a cheek? Like, you don't know. And also, this is just coming to my head right now. Remember the first night when she kissed Dale? He pulled away. Why wasn't she mad about that?
Oh my God.
That just came to my head.
I can't. We have to end this conversation because you're right. You're right.
And he like pulled away.
You're right. And she reached for him. You're right. We're going to leave it at that because hypocrisy at its finest. Okay.
Food for thought.
So group date number 2. Basically all the guys that weren't on the first group date are on this one. And they're all like, oh yes, no Dale. It's a roast. They're going to roast each other.
Guys, this is amazing.
But how convenient that the audience at the roast is the other guys because they're in quarantine. So
Corona.
Just when they thought you were getting rid of Dale, he's back. And I just knew in like the interviews, I was like, Bennett, my boy Bennett, is about to light Dale on fire.
What did he say again?
He said zing at one point and made a comment about Dale's run-on sentences, and I literally died. We love an educated grammar joke.
And you know he's like a witty kind of humor guy when he goes zing.
He literally did this zing. I was like, oh, you're so Harvard. Get out of here. But it wasn't just Bennett that were like chirping Dale, and I'm sure they edited it this way because, well, actually we know that because Jay was talking about it later and he said, I said like 52 jokes and all she asked me about was the comments about Dale. So we'll get to that. But like, Claire, what does that tell you? If all of the guys have something to say about him, like they know that you're not sharing your time evenly. Like, and then
I know I'm kind of like hopping ahead, but we can circle back to it. And then she was mad at the guys for making jokes about Dale. And I'm like, what? She's the one. It's a roast. Get over it. Who cares? It's not a big deal. No one's going to get their feelings hurt. You're roasting them to be funny. B, you're creating this narrative. And C, why the hell, like, why are you only mad that they're making jokes about Dale? Like, get over yourself.
100%. Also, Bennett, after he said zing and made the grammar joke, finished with a legit mic drop.
Yes! I forgot about that.
And I went, it's my boy. It's my guy right there.
It's my boy.
And okay, so the roast finishes. They're talking about it. They're all like sitting in the room and they're talking about how Easy was saying something about like everyone was kind of getting chirped, but then he was like, everyone just kept saying something about Dale. And Dale even was like, rightfully so, like after the night before, like I deserve that. Like he said Dale was like, yep, I deserve that, whatever. And like Jane said, Claire was all up in arms because they were hating on her man. Like it was wild.
And he didn't even care. Yeah, there were some where he was like, ouch, that hurt. But he was like, again, I'll eat it because.
Yeah. Sorry, I just read my next point. I forgot. In Bennett's ITM, he said, the roast went well. I lit Dale up. That was his word.
With the biggest smile on his face.
And did I not say earlier that Bennett was going to light Dale on fire? And guess what? Bennett and me, we're like this. Oh my God. So.
My cheeks hurt from laughing.
It's the cocktail party. Bennett pulls Claire first. Bennett's like, so how was your day? Like whatever, actually trying to talk to her. Claire circles back to all the comments about Dale. Bennett literally says to her, he goes, I think I gave Dale enough airtime today. Can we let's talk about us? And Claire was like, okay, circles back to Dale.
She literally was like, okay, but like no, this.
Yeah.
And it's like, he literally said he didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it.
Yeah. And then Bennett circled, he's like, okay, well, like Dale said some comments about like how he's best suited for you and like a front runner and like whatever. So then Claire was like, oh, he said that. And then we get all these clips. She's talking to the other guys and it's just, what's going on in the house? Like, what were all those digs about Dale? Like to every person. And the guys are all going back to each other and being like, she talked to me about that too. She talked to me about that too. She talked to me about that too. And that's when Jay was like, I made 48 other jokes. And all she wanted to talk to me about was the Dale comment. Like, whatever. And like, then she went to say something about like, it was like only about her and Dale's relationship. No, because that's all you wanted to talk to them about. What?
Yeah, okay, so then she proceeded to not give, can I say this part?
Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
When they're sitting there, I forget who it was, but someone was making a comment about her, like, I think it was maybe, no, I don't think it was Easy. It was someone was just saying, like, she must really like, oh, it was Kenny. He's like, why am I here? He's like, if she loves Dale so much, like, why am I here? And poor Bennett, he's still trying to give Claire, like, the benefit of the doubt. Like, Bennett was like, no, like, it's still early. She's trustworthy. She's a wonderful woman. Like, Bennett was being so nice. So, like, justice for Bennett, but I'm sorry, bro, you're wrong.
Because then, guys, she proceeded.
I'm just going to take this pencil and just, in my eyes.
After all that stuff, she proceeded to pick up the rose and go, I didn't get anywhere that I wanted to be with you guys today, so I can't give anybody this rose.
Well, no shit, you didn't.
Excuse me?
All you did was talk about Dale. No, anywhere you wanted.
You didn't get anywhere. She was like, something along the lines of like, none of our relationships progressed. I didn't get where I wanted with you guys, so I can't give this rose to anyone tonight. Maybe because every single conversation you had, you didn't talk about them. You talked about Dale.
And the second,
get it over yourself.
The second she didn't give that rose to any of them, they all knew in that moment that it wasn't them, that Dale was winning. They all knew in that moment. And she did this whole, Claire, she like had the rose. She was like, thank you for being bold. And like, she gave the rose to herself in this, like, in the moment interview. And it was so bratty. Like, bratty's the only word I have to describe it. I was so put off by it. And then as she walked away, she said to the producers, like, she's like, I really don't think I can sit there and go, like, you were digging on my fiance so hard, like, it doesn't feel right.
Now, guys, where in that sentence does it sound a little funny?
How about the word fiance? Because it's week 3. You've known these men for 5 days? How about that?
Guys, that one, really, I was like, did I hear that right? Like, did she really just say fiance? Like, you're not even engaged. You still have however many guys there.
Yep. And then, so Jaiden and I at this point are heated. I've fallen off the couch. I've been anxious. I've fanned myself. I've had to take momentary pauses. Fades to black. Chris Harrison goes, next week on The Bachelorette. All of the crazy stuff. It's clearly when Claire blows up the show. Whatever. The last 10 seconds. All of a sudden, it's the pool. And Tayshia emerges like a goddess from the pool, looking phenomenal.
Hotter than ever.
So good. And all she did was come out of the pool, wipe her hair, and like walk past the camera, and it faded to black. I wish Jaiden and I were recording our reaction because we would go viral. We were bouncing up and down in my basement and like selling, and like it was the best ending to an episode.
The only way I can describe it is like how boys celebrate during sports games.
Hold on, I'm going to get so Canadian on you because that's where my brain's going. I don't know which Olympics it was, but when Sidney Crosby got the golden goal when Canada was playing against the US and there was like 10 seconds left or something in the final period, it was tied, and Sidney Crosby got the golden goal, or it was overtime or whatever it was. That is the level we were at in my basement. If you are Canadian or American and you watch that Olympic game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We were wild.
I like hopped over the couch. We were like, what?
My heart rate was through the roof.
My watch literally said my heart was like 105 or 130, like something
Jaiden
stupid.
was told to breathe. Her watch told her to breathe. Like, it was insane. I cannot wait. Next week's our last week with Claire. I just think I love Tayshia, and I don't know if she's going to get new guys. I don't know if some of the old guys are staying. I don't know if there's going to be an option. Jaiden, I think you had mentioned something about that.
I feel like there might be something like that.
But who knows? And I do want to say I loved how they did that. I didn't expect it at all. I thought it was great. I was watching Rachel Lindsay's Instagram stories, and she did a very real and like raw thing. And she just said that she didn't really she wasn't happy with the way the franchise introduced Tayshia because Black women are often idolized for like their assets and their bodies. And she's like, all the other bachelorettes get out of a limo in this like gorgeous dress and like all of that stuff. And she's like, I just don't think it was fair that Tayshia didn't get that moment. And I totally, after hearing Rachel say that, I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like I didn't even think about that or whatever. So I'm hoping that obviously she gets her limo moment of like wearing that dress, stepping out, being beautiful, which I think she will, because we saw the preview.
Yeah.
The first week of the limo and the door opening and like a leg.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping she gets her moment, but I just thought it was fair to point out Rachel's side of it too. And she was just disappointed in the franchise for not giving her that first opportunity. Like, because it had never really come out that Tayshia was the Bachelorette. This was really the first moment that all of those rumors were confirmed. And so I was like, you know what, Rachel, that's totally a fair point.
That's so true, because they could have just used the moment that they've been previewing of her stepping out of the limo. Like, they really could have just did that.
I'm going to stand by it. It was iconic.
It really came out of nowhere.
Her getting out of that pool. And like I said to Jaiden, I was like, for someone who knows what's happening because of all of the, like, I don't know spoilers, but I do know, like, Tayshia was alleged to be the Bachelorette. Like, when's she coming? I don't know. I was honestly shocked. I did not see that coming. She looked amazing. She looked amazing. And she is going to save this season, and Team Tayshia.
Woo, 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 woo.
Wow, you guys.
I have to take a deep breath after that.
What an episode that was. You'll still get a recap next week, but if you watch The Bachelorette, it's not on Tuesday because of the election. It's going to be on Thursday. So you'll still get a recap, don't worry, but we got to wait an extra couple days before we can watch the episode.
Yep.
All right. Enough about The Bachelor. Let's get back to our structured podcast that we know and love.
Here we go, everybody. Oh, I'm yawning. My back is sore. The three G's. The good, the great, the gross. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do gross for gross, good for good, great for great again. I love that. So my gross, Faith already knows this. My car keeps breaking down on me.
We talked about it last week.
Oh, we did. I forgot about it.
Still a problem.
Still an issue. And guys, fun fact, I got it fixed and then it broke down again. So that's great. Just clap it up for me over here. I'm having a great time. It's getting frustrating.
Yeah.
Because mechanics, I feel like, not all mechanics, but they just like want to take your money. And like, if you don't have like a good mechanic that you can trust, they kind of like fiddle around with you. At least that's been my experience. Like, for example, my car, the gear shift, you guys know about it. It was all weird. It was in neutral, but it was in park. It was confusing. We get it fixed. The guy was like, oh yeah, we put a new cable in, da-da-da-da-da. We paid a decent amount of money to get it fixed. Not even within a week, it breaks again. And then we were confused because we're like, what? Like, there's a whole new cable. That doesn't make sense. Someone comes and picks it up, and he went in the hood of the car and just joined two cables together, and then it was working again. And my dad was like, I paid for a new cable. Why is there like a linkage job or whatever circuit job happening when I paid for a new cable? And then the guy was like, oh, well, like, we just like thought this would be easier. We couldn't find the cable. And my dad's like, no, I paid for a new cable, so fix it.
Yeah.
So then they fixed it this time. Is there a new cable in there? I don't know. At this point, who the hell knows?
I mean, you made it from Lakeshore to Windsor yesterday twice, so it's good news.
Let's hope I make it to Chatham today. Wish me luck.
I'll make it there.
All I gotta say is Jaiden gets a new car 2021, maybe?
Jaiden gets a new car 2021. Love that.
Let's hope.
2 months away. We got this. All right. My gross is I just have a lot of podcasts and YouTube videos to catch up on, and I'm feeling overwhelmed about it. Usually like I drive a lot, so I listen to podcasts and like I watch like all the YouTube subscriptions that I have, and then because the new season of Modern Family and Schitt's Creek came out on Netflix, I was watching that, which means my YouTube was getting backed up. And I feel like I have so much content that I need to consume to consider myself like caught up. I'm just feeling overwhelmed about it. It's just my gross.
Just so overwhelmed that you're not caught up.
And I love all the content, like all my podcasts. I love like all my stuff, all my YouTube videos. Like obviously I'm subscribed to them, so I love it. But I'm like, there's so much to do in so little time. That's how I feel.
I honestly watch like YouTube and listen to podcasts when I'm doing anything. Like I can't listen to silence.
Yeah.
When I'm at my house. And I want to fix that. But maybe you can try that if you want to try to catch up.
No, I do though. Like I do listen. My issue is like a lot of my podcasts, like Chicks in the Office is 3 times a week. Off the Vine Off the Vine is twice a week. Yeah, and like the rest of them are just once, but like
they just overlap too much.
There's so many. And I'm really not even listening to that many. I listen to Off the Vine, Know Your Aura, Absolutely Not with Heather McMahon, Chicks in the Office, Girls Night with Raven and Alexis, The Low Show. So there's 6. Like
that's a lot.
Yeah, but only like 2 of them happen multiple times a week. So like it's really only 4 episodes a week, but then you add the 3 Chicks in the Office, which is 7, and then the 2 Off the Vine, which is 9. It
piles up.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll get caught up. I'm not worried about it. It's just a little overwhelming, and it's fine.
On to our good.
Yes.
We already talked about it. The Bachelorette.
That was your good this week?
That was my good, because it was just so entertaining, and Faith and I watched it together.
It was such a bad episode that it was the best episode I've ever seen.
It was you guys heard it. It was a roller coaster of emotions.
It was such a dumpster fire that it was amazing.
It was, yeah, like you couldn't take your eyes off the screen. And also, we had pierogies, so couldn't go wrong.
We did have pierogies. Good job, Gidge.
It was great. Yes, thank you, Gidge.
Okay, is that your good?
Yep. I'm not going to talk about it more.
Yeah, just scroll back and re-listen if you want to see how she feels. Okay, so my good is that it was Halloween dress-up week at work. So, I mean, this was almost my gross just because 6 costumes is stressful. Like when you work 6 days a week, and like I teach multiple kids on different days, so I don't want to have a double costume, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I got to dress up as a different thing, which was stressful at first, but I figured it out. So I rocked a Dalmatian costume. Not a cow, Sophia Prizio, a Dalmatian. Sophia called me a cow, and I forgot I had a costume on, so I was offended for like 5 seconds. I was an 80s workout girl, which was a fantastic costume. That one I'm actually going to double as on, I haven't taught yet, but on Saturday I'm going to be an 80s workout girl as well.
It was funny. Some of the students were asking if Faith was wearing underwear.
Yes.
But it was a bathing suit.
I was like, no, they're my bathing suit bottoms. And they were like high-waisted, like weird. It would be weird underwear, basically. I was a janky version of Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
It was beautiful.
A very janky version of it. A baseball player, a bunny, and then, like I said, I'm going to finish with the 80s workout girl again. And I'm not great at Halloween costumes, so I'm, like, nervous about it. And it's just because Halloween's not one of my favorite times of the year.
Oh, I love Halloween.
Not that I hate it. I just always, like, forget about it. And then all of a sudden it's the day before work starts, and I'm like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to wear? Oh, my God, open my closet. Like, but we figured it out, and I made 5 great costumes, and good for me.
Yay! Guys, Faith's costumes aren't even janky, like, compared to mine.
No, it was a janky Little Mermaid.
I literally bought cobweb decorations, draped it on myself, and called myself a cobweb.
Yeah, but you looked spooky.
You were actually Ariel. It was great.
I didn't have red. Everyone's like, you should have got a red wig. I was like, you guys, I don't have time.
You're like, no, I'm not doing that.
Get over it. I had a red TheraBand in my hair, and it actually looked kind of cute, but then I could feel the static, and I was like, I can't do this all day.
You're like, I'm done.
No.
I'm done.
No.
On to our great. My great is Halloween.
Ooh, spooky.
Ooh. It's one of my favorite holidays where you can just do so many spooky activities. Like tomorrow, my family and I are going to do some pumpkin carving together and maybe bake cookies, who knows. And then on Saturday, actual Halloween, Connor and I are going to his house to carve more pumpkins, watch scary movies, and hand out candy if that's even like a thing this year. You know, you're buying some just in case some kids come by. Who knows? Anyways, I just like love any sort of tradition or holiday. Like I love festivities. So Halloween is my favorite. Love dressing up, love candy, love spooky things. Halloween is the best.
Good one. Not the same as me, but good one.
That's all good.
You know, I feel that way about my birthday, so it's fine.
Your birthday month.
My birthday month. My great. So I actually had a totally other great written down, but this one just came to me and I was like, oh my God, how did I not think of this? Michigan football was back last Saturday, everybody.
Yes!
We came out on top. We beat Minnesota for the 23rd year in a row, I think.
Oh, she's got those stats. Which is
exciting. Yep, because there's the whole like jug that the winner gets to keep, and like Michigan's had it for 23 years, and like
wow,
Minnesota has lost to Michigan in Minnesota 17 years in a row.
So sad.
So it's fun to be a Michigan fan, not so fun to be a Minnesota fan. We have a new quarterback. So that's really exciting. He's supposed to be really great. So hopefully he has a good season. We came out on top. And I love it. I'm not going to sing the fight song for you because no one wants to hear that. But Michigan football's back on Saturday. So this Saturday coming up, which it'll already have passed, and we'll see how they go. They're playing state, Michigan versus Michigan State, which is always a really big game. That's at noon. Unfortunately, I'll be at work, so I can't tailgate and party with my parents in our garage, but that's okay. Go Blue. State sucks.
This is the irony, but Notre Dame.
I can't be totally mad at you because due to COVID, Michigan's not playing outside the Big Ten conference, and Notre Dame's not in the Big Ten. So I can't be totally mad at you, but I'm not happy about it.
I have so many Notre Dame things because it's like Connor's favorite.
I know. Connor slid right on into the DMs and was like, go Irish. And I was like, Connor, we can't be friends.
You're like, we haven't even met yet, and I don't like you.
We got to have a conversation about this. My God. But yeah, Michigan football's back. It's the one sport not one sport I get excited over, but I love college football. Something about, I don't know, have you ever been to a tailgate, Jaiden? A college tailgate?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's right. You did live in California. Of course you've been. But there's just something about like, it's just everyone needs to experience it once in their lifetime. Find a college, like go to one of the bigger schools, go to like a Michigan State, Ohio State, Syracuse, like one of the bigger schools if you're in America. And,
I do have to say, like, USC was crazy.
I bet.
Like, guys, these football tailgates, they go hard. Like, hard. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people there. Like, the stadium is so huge. Like, we don't really have that in Canada.
No, we don't.
We really don't.
I was say, luckily, America's close enough that it's only like 40 minutes for me to go to a Michigan game. I mean, obviously that can't happen this year because no fans, but I'm just glad football's back. I'm glad we have our first win. I'm hoping we can come out on top against State because State lost to Rutgers, I think, on the weekend. So hopefully we can keep State at 0-2 and take Michigan to 2-0. But we'll see. It's always a close game. It's always a good game to watch. So I can't wait to, hear how it goes on Saturday.
Woo! Football!
Oh, Blue!
Amazing. Well, let's dive right into.
Let's get into our feelings.
Our feelings, because we got a lot. We got a lot to talk about. I wrote down a lot.
We got some feelings today. So, what we're going to talk about when we get in our feels today is fear. So, according to verywellmind.com, fear is a natural, powerful, and primitive human emotion. It involves a universal biochemical response, as well as a high individual emotional response. So fear alerts us to the presence of danger or the threat of harm, whether that danger is physical or psychological. Fear can also be a symptom of some mental health conditions like panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, phobias, and PTSD. That's all I got.
Wowza. Welcome to our Fizz and Feelings segment where we dive deep into a topic, which is fear today, the emotion of fear. That whole description of fear, I like how it said psychological and physical.
Yeah.
Like a physical fear. I don't know if it actually said that. I can't remember.
No,
the
it did.
words, but
it did.
Okay. Because that's so true. And it goes into what I'm saying. I feel like there's so many ways to categorize fear. Like, it's not just simply fear. Like, yes, it's a way to be like scared, I guess, but there's so many different ways that it can be provoked.
Yeah.
And I kind of described it just as like the two ones that I feel mostly. Like for me, I kind of feel, sometimes I feel like an anxious kind of fear where you don't want to do something because it scares you, even though you don't know what the outcome will be.
Yep.
And then there's also a terrified kind of fear that literally debilitates you. And that can be getting scared by someone or something truly frightening happening in your life where you don't know how to react.
Yeah.
And fear, I believe, is truly defined by the phrase fight, flight, or freeze, because those are typically the reactions that occur when this emotion is felt. I feel like they just kind of tie in with each other. But the best way to conquer fear is to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because fear is a limitation and a safety net that our brain creates when we feel threatened by something, which what the description was explaining to us. And sometimes that fear, it can be for good reason, kind of like a sixth sense, almost in dangerous situations if you don't know how to respond to it. And then sometimes that fear is strictly just limiting us from trying to grow and move out of our comfort zones.
Totally.
So I have two personal examples of each categorized fear. And my first one I talk about is that anxious fear that we probably feel on a more daily basis. And the biggest one for me was moving to California. I was so excited to go and to start this new journey, but was obviously terrified about how it would affect my family and my relationship with Connor.
Absolutely.
There were so many unknowns. I didn't know how to react. I was excited, but then once the day came, I felt paralyzed. Like I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
But it was like building up. Like I was like, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to go. The day comes and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like I did not want to get on the plane. I cried the entire way there. And that sort of anxious fear kind of creeps up on you and makes you feel like you're making the wrong decision. But once you push through it, you'll realize that it's happening for a reason to help you grow.
Totally.
And if I didn't take that opportunity to grow as a person and to grow into the, like as a young adult, I would be such a different person today.
Yeah.
Just, you have to make sure that whenever an opportunity presents yourself, if it scares you, maybe it's because it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, anxious fear is a limitation that we create because we don't want to push past our comfort zone. So that's why I feel you need to feel the fear and do it anyway. Mm-hmm. In those moments, you just got to kind of push through it. And this type of fear is only happening because the situation, again, could potentially bring so much change in your life that it's overwhelming. And you're fearful that within that change, you will lose some of the things that you love.
Yeah.
But if it's meant to be, it will be. And if the people who love you and support you indefinitely, they'll never go anywhere. So you always have to remind yourself that. And if they do leave, then maybe you were supposed to shed that skin.
Totally.
And in order to grow as a person, you need to, like I'm saying, continuously change and evolve, or just grow up naturally and utilize the opportunities around you to gain the most out of life. So do not be afraid to evolve and to shed some skin along the way. Change is good and normal. So embrace that fear and just kind of roll with it, with the anxious fear. And then now moving on to like the terrified fear, where it literally debilitates you and you have to think in your head, okay, am I going to fight this? Am I going to flight, or am I going to freeze? Like, what's going to happen? And this one, I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the podcast, or even I may have told you, I can't remember, but it was the moment when someone broke into my apartment in California. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast. I can't remember, but this one was the craziest reaction that my body went through. Like, you think that when something scary and crazy happens like this, you'll know exactly how you're going to react. Like, you'll be like, oh, if I'm getting kidnapped, this is what I'm going to do. Or, oh, if someone jumps me, this is what I'm going to do. But like, note to self, guys, you're going to do the exact opposite of what you think you're going to do, because that's exactly what happened to me. Like, which brings me back to my fight, flight, or freeze. Like, I thought in these moments, like, of when someone would break in, I would be a bat, but like know how to handle it with ease and with like confidence. But I froze.
Yeah.
I completely froze. And the weirdest thing was I just started shaking. I can't explain it other than like trembling. My whole body from like head to toe was trembling. I was walking and it felt like my insides were shaking. And I couldn't breathe. Like, I had to keep like I couldn't calm myself down. But I do have to applaud myself for the fact that even though I was trembling, even though I felt like I couldn't breathe, I stayed calm. I evaluated the situation. I didn't react. Like, I thought about it first. I tried to be one step ahead. We called the police. We made sure we were quiet to pretend like nobody was there. We kept the door locked. We were ready to press my bed up against the wall. We had stuff in case like someone came in. Like, I do applaud myself and my roommates for that part. But this experience just made me realize that you really can prepare yourself for the worst case scenario. But terrified fear can just come at you in the most surprising way.
Yeah.
And still debilitate you beyond belief.
Yeah.
And there's no way to prepare for this fear. Like, I wish I could give you guys like A, B, and C of how to prepare yourself. But all I've learned from that situation is that you can't.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just learn how to keep yourself calm and rational, and just try to think like one step ahead. That's the best thing I can do for you to help you with that, because I don't even know myself how to deal with terrified fear. And I just know if this situation were to happen again, I would maybe do a couple of things different. But I would just, again, tell myself, stay calm, act fast, be mindful of each decision you make, and just try to think one step ahead, but all in all, like, stay calm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any advice on how to deal with that kind of terrified fear.
The only terrified fear experience that I've ever had was driving home from the mall with my friend Emma one time, and it was snowy and like it was sunny, and like the roads weren't bad or anything. We must have just hit a patch of ice and we were spinning. We spun and it was on Highway 3. So if anyone knows Highway 3, it's like
It's a busy road.
And it was like something happened, like the car didn't have good brakes either, which they figured out after, but like this calm, it was wild. It was out of body. As we were spinning, Emma was like, oh my God, and like panicking. And I was literally just like, I kind of put my hand on her, like on her arm, and I was like, it's okay. We're going to be okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. Like, I was so calm. It was wild. And then we like stopped and like she fixed it and we like kept going because there was cars around us. Like literally it was like at a stoplight because we were trying to stop. So as we were spinning, the one car moved ahead of us just in time, or else we would have like, yeah, it would have been not bad, but we would have hit them for sure. And then she was like, how did you stay that calm? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. Like, because I thought for sure I would have freaked out in that situation. But as it was happening, I was just like, it's okay. Everything's fine. We're going to be okay. You got this. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And then it stopped. And then I felt the blood rush through like my whole body. But like, so like Jaiden was absolutely right when she said, you don't know how you're going to react because you think you're going to react one way and the total opposite happens.
And then that's crazy because I was going to ask you, after that calm feeling, when the situation was over, you knew you guys were okay. Nothing bad happened. How did you feel after that? Blood rushing through your body?
I felt like the blood rushed through my body, and then I was like a little bit shaky, like kind of shaken up, not like panicking, but like a little shaky.
Because that's another thing that I forgot to mention. Like, so in the moment, your adrenaline like kicks in, you're trying to stay calm. So like mine was trembling.
Yeah.
Faith's was calmness. But then the moment the situation is over and like, you know, you're okay, and then like the adrenaline goes away, your mind's like, okay, you're safe now. I started hyperventilating, bawling.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
it
cry,
was
but
just,
I also, your
yeah.
situation was a lot more extreme than mine.
But it's just crazy how after that terrified fear, it's like something kicks in to help you like stay calm and alert, but like you're still freaking out and like your body's reacting in weird ways. But then the moment it's over, it's like all of a sudden it's like a wave and it brushes up to shore real quick, and then you just kind of indulge in everything that you were actually feeling, that your body was like holding inside.
It's your human body's like innate primitive response to stay alive. Like,
it's crazy.
Like, scientifically, evolutionary speaking, like exactly like your fight or flight. And this is why anxiety, people are now realizing, is just all it is your brain thinking that you're in a life-threatening situation. So you start to feel all of those things and you're not. It's just like a trick your brain plays on you. But when something like that happens, it's literally your brain goes into survival mode. And then once the risk or that like factor that was causing you to potentially not be able to live anymore, your brain can relax, and like you can actually then like the chemical imbalance and everything, that's your body.
And then you start coping with it.
Yeah. It
was crazy, guys. So wish I could help you on how to deal with that, but you really can't prepare yourself.
No.
You could
That's like wild.
I just remember thinking, even when I get kidnapped, I think of that one movie where the girl's in the back of the trunk and she like knocks the light out. I'm like, oh yeah, like I would be that bad. I did that. And then I probably wouldn't. I'd probably die.
Yeah.
I'd probably die. Like
I don't even know what I would do. I really don't. And I know people have like talked about it and like thought about it. I really just haven't thought about it because I legitimately don't know what I would do. I don't.
It makes me, because usually with every other sort of emotion, you can rationalize it. But with fear, you really can't rationalize some situations. And that's the irony of this. It scares me. Fear scares me.
Yeah. That's a fear.
It's wild.
We're going to talk about that.
Fearful of fear.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into your things. Let's talk about it.
Crazy. Well, I'm glad you're okay. And I'm glad that you came out of that on the other side, but that is a wild experience.
It was a funny story, guys. I guess like all in all, the guy just was drunk and walked into the wrong apartment. So it was kind of funny, but just leading up to it, everything that was happening, I was like, we're dying.
You don't know that until it's over. Right.
Yeah. It's a whole story that we can dive into another day.
Oh my God. Crazy stuff. Okay. So my turn. I kind of went back and forth about what I wanted to talk about. When we talked about anxiety with Melissa, if you haven't listened to that episode, you should go check it out. I mentioned my hesitation to drive in the snow that originated from a past experience, but I honestly don't know if I would consider it a fear. I think in my past I would have, but now having the opportunity to like grow, reflect on it, analyze my triggers, all that stuff, I feel like I can say it's not a fear and just an anxiety-inducing situation for me, which we talked about with Melissa. But other than that, I really don't have any like specific fears I can pinpoint other than like, and this is getting really deep and we're not going to like dive into it, but like just a fear of like being alone forever. Like, it's not one of those, I'm actually terrified of it, but it's just one of those things where like, we can't tell the future. I don't know. Like, I say I'm fine with it and fine with being single all the time, but like, there's sometimes when I'm not, and there's sometimes where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this by myself forever. Like, which is hard to admit for me, but it's true. And like, again, probably not a legitimate fear, because let me tell you, I love my alone time, but more of like a worry. And like, I think that's as close as I am to having an actual fear in my life. Like, I'm not scared of spiders. I'm not scared of like anything like that. Which made me kind of take my perspective and flip it into a positive on fear. So I think it's interesting that a fear can be a negative experience for someone, but a positive experience for someone else. And I know it's funny to think of fear as like a positive, but roll with me for a second. Think about people that are like adrenaline junkies. Those people that are excited to jump out of a plane.
That's Connor.
Or climb the side of a cliff or swim with sharks. Like, any of those experiences could be absolutely terrifying and fear-inducing and debilitating to someone, but exciting and intriguing and like makes you feel more alive like than you ever have before to a different person. And I'm not saying those adrenaline junkies aren't experiencing a moment of fear, but they like the way it feels.
Yes, because with fear, like what we were talking about earlier, you can't pinpoint how it's going to feel. Like at least when you're happy, you're like, oh, this is what it makes me feel. But every sort of like fear is different and feels different within each category and each thing you do. So that's the craziest part about it.
Yeah. And it's like, they like it. They recognize that feeling, and it's not something that they want to push away. They want to dive into it and make it happen again. Like they like the feeling they get in their stomach and when their heart starts to beat faster, as opposed to someone who's negatively experiencing that fear and is ready to like run 100 kilometers in the opposite direction when they start to feel like that. And as I was writing this, I was like, with that being said, I think that is a good reminder for us that everyone experiences fear differently, and everyone has different experiences that trigger fear or that don't trigger fear. So we have to remember, as being conscious, confident, positive, helpful human beings, that just because someone has something that triggers a fear in them and it doesn't in us, that's okay. You know what I mean? Not that it was ever not okay, but like recognizing like, you know what? Just because I'm fearful of this doesn't mean this person is. Or just because they're fearful of that doesn't mean that I need to be. So I think we just have to use that as a reminder to like check ourselves and like, instead of judging someone for what they're fearful of, and there is some funny fears that we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. It's more of like accepting it and just kind of, if that's a person that's close to you, just like learning their triggers, learning how to help them when that happens, like learning maybe how to help them work through that situation instead of like avoiding it all the time. We just got to remember that like your emotions are valid, your fears are valid, and like you're not being judged because of those things. And if people aren't judging us, then we can't judge them either. You know?
Yeah, because like Faith was saying, everybody's fear is different, whether it's a big fear or small fear. So you can't judge someone based on their fears, and you can't, just because you're not scared of something doesn't mean someone else isn't. So you have to be mindful of those triggers.
Totally.
And of other people's like feelings.
Yeah. So, which leads me to finishing on a light note. And I tried to keep our feelings a little bit shorter because I knew I was going to talk about The Bachelor for so long. And my quote of the moment's a little bit longer, so it makes sense. But I found what I personally think are the 10 strangest fears on the internet.
Oh my gosh. Lay it on us.
The first one, number 1, xanthophobia. Fear of the color yellow.
I wonder why, because yellow's supposed to be like a happy color.
Yep, fear of the color
what
yellow.
What is it?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Number 2. Also, these words are so hard to pronounce, you guys. Bear with me.
Give it a shot.
Amathophobia.
Is it about math?
Fear of dust.
Oh, I'm going to try to guess what each one is.
Okay, sounds good. If they have a fear of dust, they would not want to look at my ceiling fan right now.
They wouldn't want to look at my room. My room's black, so you can really see.
Okay, number 3. This one's my favorite.
I'm scared.
Because it's so ironic. Hippopotomonstrosopipedaliophobia.
The hell? Okay, I've definitely heard of this one before.
Because it's so ironic.
Small things?
Fear of long words.
Oh, Jesus
You can't
Christ.
even tell people your fear because you're scared of it. Hippopotomonstrosopipedaliophobia. You can't even say it because it terrifies you.
Oh, God. You just say, I have hippo. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Number 4. Globophobia.
Oh, like boogers.
Fear of balloons.
Oh, I was close.
I think you're going to get this one. Number 5. Phobophobia.
FOMO.
No.
Robots.
Fear of fear itself.
Oh, God. That's me.
Your phobophobia.
Phobophobia.
Your fear itself. Okay. Number 6. Frigophobia.
Refrigerators.
Fear of being cold.
Okay, I was on to something.
Frigophobia, you were on the right track. Fear of being cold.
I was on to something.
Okay. Number 7, lutrophobia.
I can't say what I'm thinking. Whatever. I was thinking fear of lube.
No. Loot with a T, not a B.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
I feel like...
Okay. Fear of otters.
You're like, no, loot with a T, but otters. But otters.
Fear of otters. And when I saw that, I was like, no, they're so cute and cuddly.
They are.
Oh my God. People are scared of them. Okay, ready?
That's sad.
Number 8. Pupophobia.
If it's puppies, I'm gonna cry.
It's not puppies.
Parrots.
Puppets. A fear of puppets.
I was close.
Fear of puppets. If you have pupophobia and you watch the YouTube stream, don't watch Jaiden do the puppet show at the beginning. Okay, number 9. Okay, well, here we go. This is a big one.
Oh, Jesus.
Arachibutyrophobia.
A raccoon.
Fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
I have nothing to say about that.
Okay.
What?
I know, that one's funny, eh?
But wait, I kind of feel that because you know when you have like really soft bread and then get stuck to the roof of your mouth? Sometimes I feel like it's never going to come down. You really gotta.
I was just saying, can't you just use your finger and go?
Oh, I don't know. Ugh.
Just wash your hands.
It's weird.
I do, whatever. Okay, anyway.
No, not weird that you're using your finger. Like the feeling of scraping it off would feel
but
weird.
You're not really scraping it. You're just like pulling it down. It's the same as using your tongue. Like when you.
But also, it's so suctioned on there. It's like, it's just scary that it even.
Sometimes you need your finger.
Oh yeah, but it's terrifying that it like glues on there like a frickin'.
That's true.
Like
you're right.
Siding, like some awning you're putting on a roof.
You're right. I'll give you that one. And number 10 to finish us off, very on brand for the 21st century.
Oh.
Very on brand, nomophobia.
Not knowing what the hell's going on in this damn world.
Well, that and fear of being without a phone.
Yep.
Very on brand for the 21st century.
Yep. Holy Jesus.
And
yep.
those are the 10 fears that I have. Not me. I don't have them.
Faith has every single one of those fears, guys. Write them down.
Those are the 10 weirdest ones that I found. If you have one of those phobias, let us know. I would love to hear about it and like what it actually like feels like. They're pretty strange. So if you do, let us know. I would love to learn more about them.
My friend had this one fear of like tiny cluster of holes.
That's very common in like bubbles.
Yes.
That's very common. I actually know a couple people that have that.
And when she would see it, it would like make her feel itchy.
Yeah.
And like she was like, I literally can't, like I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
I forget what it was called.
Yeah, that's actually
which is funny.
Than what you think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Anyone else has any weird fears? Let us know. Send them our way. We would love to hear.
Love to hear, and I'd love to guess what they are.
Yes. Don't tell us what it is. Let Jaiden guess. But you know, it's time for our last segment because you've listened to us talk enough.
Enough.
And when the Bachelorette's done and we don't have a recap to do, you guys are going to be like, oh my God, episodes are so short. It's time for quote of the moment.
It's time.
It is time for quote of the moment. The part of the podcast where we tell you a quote, you know, let you feel the quote with us, explain how it feels, and then relate it to what's going on in our life or what we just talked about. So I'm going to start. My quote is from www.yourtango.com. And it says, yep, very Latin of us today. It says, fear is nothing more than an obstacle that stands in the way of progress. In overcoming our fears, we can move forward, stronger, and wiser within ourselves. And looking at the type of fear that isn't debilitating, but just like a thought in our brain that can hold us back, and Jaiden kind of talked about this, imagine what your life will look like on the other side of that obstacle. Imagine the growth, imagine the strength, imagine the lessons you will have learned along the way. Sure, it could be taking a huge leap of faith, and maybe you'll take that leap and land right on your butt. Like, maybe we'll just not be able to land on our feet. But also, maybe you're going to take the leap, land on your feet, and then take off in a full sprint towards your dreams and the best future for you. Now, doesn't that just sound great? You know? Like, that possibility, the possibility of landing on your feet and like full force running towards what you want. Recently, I had an experience where I needed to decide if it was time to take a big step towards my future. And immediately I started second guessing because like I'm loving where I am in my life right now and what my life is. But looking back, I can now see the guessing came from fear of growing up, fear of maturing, fear of literally starting the rest of my life. But after talking to someone that I look up to very much, he helped me realize that it doesn't need to be the rest of my life right now. It can just be one step in the right direction. And I just got to take the leap to get there. Because in my instance, like the leap is the hardest part, because once you land on your feet and survive that leap, the rest of the steps from there are easy. And that's what I plan to do, because I don't want to let fear hold me back. I want to move forward. I want to be stronger. I want to be wiser. I want to be the best version of myself. And taking this leap is going to help me get there. So that's my plan. You should join me. Take the leap. Let's land on our feet. Let's run towards our goals. Period. Big dot. Shout out Edmund and Leash.
Big dot.
Big dot.
That's right. Well, that was amazing.
Thank you.
I loved those thoughts.
Merci.
And I loved that quote.
Merci.
It was very beautiful. And like the tango.com, very interesting.
Your tango.com. Well, I got it off of Pinterest, obviously. Duh. But yeah, that's the source.
Well, I'm going to dive right in because we've been talking for so long.
Do it.
Okay, my quote of the moment, I kind of go in 12 different directions, but whatever. It's fine. What else is new? Okay. The quote is, fear does not stop death, it stops life.
Ooh.
Which I fully believe. Like you can't let fear control you. And when I hear myself say you can't let fear control you, I immediately think of a song by James Vincent McMorrow called Lost Angels.
I love him. And I love him. His voice is bananas.
That song is okay. Also, I thought it was called Lost Angels, but then somewhere it says Lost Angles. So I don't know what it's called. I've always thought of it as Lost Angels. It's like Mandela effect. It was called Lost Angels and now it's Lost Angles. I have no idea.
Oh.
Whatever. It's called, I'm going to say Lost Angels. And it talks all about fear and how it can debilitate people. And there's a line in the song that really sticks out to me. And he says, is it better to live your life in shallow water or risk failure, drowning in the deep end, so you fear it?
Oh.
And it makes me really think, or it makes you really think that it's better to live your life. Like, is it better to live your life in a comfort zone or to take those scary risks and maybe fall and fail along the way, like Faith was saying?
Totally.
But you got to take that leap, again, like Faith was describing, because you can learn from it even if you fail or even if you fall or even if you make a mistake. Like, really the only risk is not taking it, because then you'll never know.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that you have to feel the fear and do it anyway, as I've been saying this whole entire time.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Life is way too short, like I always say, to have any regrets. So just dive deep into what you want and don't apologize for it. If it scares you, it's probably because it's going to change your life in an amazing way.
Absolutely.
Again, in the song, he says, you feel the pressure in your bones, it's resonating, trying to conceal it. Don't conceal it. Don't censor your fear. Feel it and then do it anyway, because it can create a beautiful change in your life that you've probably always wanted or that you've been wishing for.
Absolutely.
Fear doesn't stop the negative from happening. It only stops your growth. So don't let fear control you.
And I think, sorry, Jaiden, because I love that. It stops the growth. And I think in like my experience that I talked about, that's what happened. I know that taking this next step, even though it's towards my like actual future and like whatever, like it's terrifying, because I know that as soon as I do it, so much growth in my like work life is going to happen, and I shouldn't be scared of that growth. I should be excited because that's going to help me be a better dance teacher, help me be a better English speaker, apparently, because I can't do it. Help me be a better just like human, and like I need that, and I shouldn't be scared of that. I should want to make that happen.
Exactly. I'll repeat it again, people.
One more time for the people in the back.
Fear doesn't stop the negative from happening. It only stops your growth.
Boom, bam, baby.
Dash Jaiden Lines.
At Jaiden Lines. Wow.
Great episode.
We did it.
We did it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed today's episode filled of The Bachelor, filled of feelings, filled of crazy fears, and just please stay tuned in for the rest of our In Our Feels season.
We got 6
and in order to
left.
do that, 6 episodes left. So turn on those post notifications, subscribe, comment, like, follow us on social media, whatever app you listen to us on. Take a moment and give us a 5-star rating. And again, if you haven't followed us already, because I didn't tell you where you need to follow us, Instagram at Let's Talk with Jaiden and Faith, Facebook, Let's Talk About It Podcast, TikTok, Let's Talk About It Pod, and of course our YouTube channel, if you can see our beautiful faces right now. Maybe Faith's beautiful face, not so much mine. Let's talk about it with Jaiden and Faith.
And that's that on that.
I thought you were going to say something. I was like, oh.
You guys, I was quiet for once. I didn't interrupt Jaiden. Personal growth, people. Personal growth.
So catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Simplecast, wherever you listen to us on. And just like show us some love. Yes, Miss Faith?
I just want to say, please follow us on Instagram. We're getting closer to our 400 followers goal. You guys, that video of Jaiden is going to be so worth it if you just help us get there. She keeps forgetting that that's what we're going to post, and it's going to be great. That's going to make us go viral. I just know it. I can't wait. Follow us, follow us, follow us, follow us, follow us. Please, 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 please. And that's it.
Guys, it's such a good video that like my back still hurts.
She's still broken from it.
I'm so broken. But anyways, rock on. We love you guys. Black Lives Matter. And wear your damn mask.
Wear it, people. Bye.
Peace out.